Hello, and welcome. The skies above Los Angeles have turned an ominous shade of orange, thick with smoke that blots out the sun and casts an eerie glow over the city. The air is heavy with the acrid scent of burning wood and ash, a constant reminder of the wildfires raging just beyond the horizon. Flames leap hundreds of feet into the air, devouring everything in their path: homes, forests, and wildlife. The scale of the devastation is staggering. Thousands of acres reduced to charred wasteland, entire neighborhoods evacuated, and countless lives upended. This is not just a fire. It is an inferno, a force of nature that has grown increasingly ferocious and unpredictable. Los Angeles, a city known for its glitz and glamour, now finds itself at the mercy of an environmental catastrophe. The wildfires of recent years have shattered records, burning hotter, faster, and more destructively than ever before. In 2020, the Bobcat Fire alone scorched over 115,000 acres, while the Woolsey Fire in 2018 destroyed more than 1,600 structures and claimed 3 lives. These are not isolated incidents, but part of a disturbing trend. According to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, the state's wildfire season has extended by 75 days since the 1970s, with the 10 largest wildfires in California history all occurring since 2000. The fires are not just a local issue. They are a symptom of a larger global climate crisis. Rising temperatures, prolonged droughts, and erratic weather patterns have created the perfect conditions for wildfires to thrive. Scientists warn that these conditions will only worsen as climate change accelerates. A 2021 report by the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, highlighted that extreme heat waves and droughts, once rare, are now becoming the norm. Los Angeles, with its Mediterranean climate and dense urban wildland interface, is particularly vulnerable. The city's iconic palm trees and sprawling suburbs, once symbols of its idyllic lifestyle, now stand as tinderboxes waiting to ignite. The human cost of these wildfires is immense. Families are forced to flee their homes with little more than the clothes on their backs, unsure if they will have anything to return to. The psychological toll is equally devastating, as residents grapple with the trauma of losing everything they've built. Beyond the immediate destruction, the fires have far-reaching consequences for public health. The smoke blankets the city, creating hazardous air quality that exacerbates respiratory conditions and poses risks even to those miles away from the flames. Hospitals report a surge in patients suffering from smoke-related illnesses, while schools and businesses shut down, disrupting daily life. As the flames continue to ravage the landscape, it's impossible to ignore the factors that have turned these wildfires into a recurring nightmare for Los Angeles residents. The fires are no longer just a seasonal hazard. They are a year-round threat, fueled by a changing climate and human activity. This crisis demands urgent attention, not only to address the immediate devastation, but also to confront the underlying causes that have brought us to this point. The story of Los Angeles's wildfires is a stark reminder of the fragility of our environment and the urgent need for action before it's too late. The wildfires devastating Los Angeles are not the result of a single factor, but a confluence of elements that have created a perfect storm. Climate change, human activity, and natural conditions have intertwined to fuel these catastrophic events, each amplifying the others in a vicious cycle of destruction. Understanding these causes is crucial to addressing the crisis and preventing future disasters. At the heart of the wildfire crisis is climate change, which has fundamentally altered the environmental conditions in California. Rising global temperatures have led to prolonged droughts, turning vast swaths of vegetation into dry, flammable tinder. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, the past decade has been the hottest on record, with 2020 tying as the warmest year ever documented. This warming trend has reduced snowpack in the Sierra Nevada mountains, a critical source of water for the region, and extended the dry season, leaving forests and grasslands parched for longer periods. Reduced rainfall has further exacerbated the problem. Southern California, already a semi-arid region, has experienced significant declines in precipitation over the past century. A 2019 study published in the journal Geophysical Research Letters found that the state's dry seasons have become 20% drier since the 1960s. These conditions create an environment where even a small spark can ignite a massive blaze, and once a fire starts, it spreads with alarming speed and intensity. While climate change sets the stage, human activity often provides the spark. Urban sprawl has pushed development into fire-prone areas, creating what experts call the wildland-urban interface. Homes built in these zones are not only at greater risk of burning, but also increase the likelihood of fires starting in the first place. Power lines, vehicles, and outdoor equipment can all serve as accidental ignition sources. For example, the 2018 Camp Fire, the deadliest wildfire in California's history, was sparked by a faulty electrical transmission line owned by Pacific Gas and Electric. Human negligence also plays a role. Campfires left unattended, discarded cigarettes, and even fireworks have all been linked to devastating wildfires. In 2020, the El Dorado fire, which burned over 22,000 acres, was caused by a gender reveal party that used pyrotechnics. These incidents highlight the need for greater public awareness and stricter regulations to prevent human-caused fires. Infrastructure issues further compound the problem. Aging power grids and inadequate maintenance have led to frequent electrical failures, which can ignite fires during high winds. The combination of human error and outdated systems creates a dangerous vulnerability that wildfires exploit. Even without human intervention, nature itself can be a formidable force in fueling wildfires. The Santa Ana winds, a seasonal phenomenon in Southern California, are particularly notorious. These hot, dry winds blow from the inland deserts toward the coast, reaching speeds of up to 70 miles per hour. They not only fan existing flames but also carry embers miles ahead of the fire front, starting new blazes and making containment efforts nearly impossible. Dry vegetation, or fuel, is another critical factor. Years of drought and bark beetle infestations have killed millions of trees, leaving behind vast amounts of dead wood that burn intensely. Lightning strikes, though less common in Southern California than in other parts of the state, can also ignite fires during dry thunderstorms. The August 2020 complex fire, which burned over 1 million acres, was sparked by thousands of lightning strikes during a rare summer storm. The interplay of these factors creates a feedback loop that intensifies the wildfire crisis. Climate change dries out the landscape, human activity introduces ignition sources, and natural forces like the Santa Ana winds spread the flames. Each element feeds into the others, making wildfires more frequent, larger, and more destructive. While the causes are complex, the consequences are immediate and devastating, leaving communities to grapple with the aftermath. Homes are reduced to ashes, lives are lost, and ecosystems are irreparably damaged. Addressing this crisis requires a multifaceted approach that tackles both the symptoms and the root causes. Only by understanding the perfect storm behind these wildfires can we hope to mitigate their impact and protect the future of Los Angeles and beyond. The wildfires ravaging Los Angeles are not just a threat to the land, they are a profound disruption to the lives of millions. The toll is felt across human lives, ecosystems, and the economy, leaving scars that will take years, if not decades, to heal. Each fire leaves behind a trail of devastation, reshaping communities and landscapes in ways that are both immediate and enduring. For residents of Los Angeles, the wildfires have become a recurring nightmare. Thousands are forced to evacuate their homes, often with little warning, leaving behind everything they've worked to build. The emotional toll is immense, as families grapple with the uncertainty of whether their homes will still be standing when they return. In 2018, the Woolsey Fire displaced nearly 300,000 people, while the 2020 Bobcat Fire forced entire communities to flee, some for weeks at a time. Even for those whose homes are spared, the impact is far-reaching. The thick smoke that blankets the city poses serious health risks, particularly for vulnerable populations like children, the elderly, and those with pre-existing respiratory conditions. Hospitals report spikes in emergency room visits for asthma attacks, bronchitis, and other smoke-related illnesses. The psychological effects are equally concerning, with many residents experiencing anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, in the aftermath of the fires. The wildfires don't just destroy human structures, they devastate the natural environment as well. Southern California's ecosystems, already under stress from drought and development, are particularly vulnerable. Fires consume vast tracts of forest, chaparral, and grassland, destroying habitats for countless species. Endangered animals like the California condor and the mountain lion face increased threats as their habitats are reduced to ash. The long-term environmental damage is equally alarming. Fires strip the land of vegetation, leaving it susceptible to erosion and landslides, especially during the rainy season. The loss of plant life also disrupts the carbon cycle, releasing stored carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and exacerbating climate change. In some cases, the fires burn so intensely that they sterilize the soil, making it difficult for plants to regrow and further delaying ecosystem recovery. The economic impact of the wildfires is staggering. Firefighting efforts alone cost billions of dollars annually. Local businesses also suffer, particularly those in tourism and agriculture. Wildfires deter visitors, leading to canceled reservations and lost revenue for hotels, restaurants, and attractions. Farmers and ranchers face the destruction of crops and livestock, as well as the long-term degradation of farmland. The ripple effects extend far beyond the immediate fire zone, impacting supply chains and driving up costs for consumers. The wildfires have transformed Los Angeles in ways that go beyond physical destruction. They have tested the resilience of its residents, many of whom have faced multiple evacuations and rebuilds. They have strained the capacity of emergency services, which must contend with increasingly frequent and intense fires. And they have highlighted the fragility of the region's ecosystems and economy, both of which are deeply interconnected. As the fires rage on, the resilience of Los Angeles residents is being tested like never before, but so too is the capacity of emergency services to respond effectively. The challenges are immense, but so too is the determination to rebuild and recover. The question is not just how to survive the current crisis, but how to prepare for the fires that will inevitably come next. As wildfires continue to engulf Los Angeles, the response from firefighters, communities, and government agencies has been nothing short of heroic. These efforts, often carried out under extreme conditions, highlight the resilience and determination of those on the front lines. Yet, even as they battle the flames, the scale of the crisis raises urgent questions about whether current strategies are sufficient to prevent wildfires from spreading even further after seeing massive wind. The firefighters and first responders battling the wildfires are the first line of defense against the infernos. Their work is grueling and perilous, often requiring them to work 24-hour shifts in searing heat and choking smoke. Equipped with heavy gear and limited resources, they face flames that can reach heights of 100 feet or more, driven by unpredictable winds. The physical and emotional toll is immense, with many suffering from exhaustion, burns, and long-term health issues from smoke inhalation. Despite these challenges, their bravery is unwavering. Stories of firefighters saving homes, rescuing stranded residents, and even protecting wildlife have become emblematic of their dedication. However, the increasing frequency and intensity of wildfires have stretched their resources thin. Many fire departments rely heavily on seasonal workers and mutual aid from other states, but even this support is often insufficient. The mental health of firefighters is also a growing concern, with rising rates of PTSD and burnout as they confront one catastrophic fire after another. In the face of disaster, Los Angeles residents have shown remarkable solidarity. Local initiatives have sprung up to support those affected by the fires, from community-run shelters to donation drives for food, clothing, and supplies. Volunteers play a critical role, helping to evacuate vulnerable populations, distribute essentials, and provide emotional support to those who have lost everything. Grassroots organizations have also stepped up, offering services like free veterinary care for pets displaced by the fires or mental health counseling for traumatized residents. Also, places to keep horses, restaurants offering free food. Social media has become a powerful tool for coordinating relief efforts, with platforms like Twitter and Facebook used to share real-time updates, locate missing persons, and mobilize volunteers. These community-driven efforts underscore the strength and compassion of Los Angeles residents, even in the darkest of times. Despite these heroic efforts, the scale of the wildfire crisis continues to outpace the response. Firefighters are stretched to their limits, communities are struggling to recover, and government policies often fall short of addressing the underlying issues. The question remains, are current strategies enough to prevent future catastrophes? The answer lies in a more holistic approach, one that combines immediate firefighting efforts with long-term solutions like climate action, sustainable land management, and community preparedness. The bravery and resilience of those on the front lines are undeniable, but they cannot shoulder this burden alone. As the fires rage on, it is clear that preventing future disasters will require not just heroism, but systemic change. The wildfires devastating Los Angeles are a stark reminder of the urgent need for innovative and comprehensive solutions. While the immediate focus remains on firefighting and emergency response, long-term strategies are essential to prevent future catastrophes. These solutions must address the root causes of the crisis, from climate change to human activity, while leveraging technology and policy to build a more resilient future. Here are some key pathways forward. Prevention is the first and most critical line of defense against wildfires. One of the most effective methods is controlled burns, also known as prescribed fires. By intentionally setting small, manageable fires under controlled conditions, land managers can reduce the buildup of dry vegetation that fuels larger wildfires. Indigenous communities have used this practice for centuries, and modern science confirms its effectiveness in maintaining healthy ecosystems and reducing fire risk. Vegetation management is another crucial strategy. This involves clearing dead trees, brush, and other flammable materials from high-risk areas, particularly near homes and infrastructure. Programs like California's Forest Management Task Force aim to treat millions of acres of land annually, though funding and implementation remain challenges. Public-private partnerships can play a key role in scaling these efforts. Public education is equally important. Many wildfires are sparked by human activity, from unattended campfires to faulty power lines. Educating residents about fire safety, evacuation procedures, and the importance of defensible space around homes can significantly reduce the risk of accidental ignitions. Community workshops, school programs, and social media campaigns can help spread this vital information. Policy changes are essential to address the systemic issues driving the wildfire crisis. Stricter building codes can make homes and communities more fire-resistant. This includes requiring fire-resistant materials for roofs, walls, and windows, as well as mandating the creation of defensible space around properties. Retrofitting older buildings to meet these standards can further reduce vulnerability. Investment in fire-resistant infrastructure is another critical step. This includes upgrading power lines to prevent sparks, burying electrical cables underground, and creating fire breaks, gaps in vegetation that can slow or stop the spread of fires. Urban planning must also prioritize reducing development in high-risk areas, known as the wildland-urban interface, where homes and forests intersect. At the heart of the crisis is climate action. Wildfires are exacerbated by rising temperatures, prolonged droughts, and erratic weather patterns, all driven by climate change. Policies that reduce greenhouse gas emissions, promote renewable energy, and support reforestation efforts are essential to mitigating these effects. California's commitment to achieving carbon neutrality by 2045 is a step in the right direction, but global cooperation is needed to address this planetary challenge. Technology offers powerful tools to predict, monitor, and combat wildfires. Drones are increasingly used to assess fire conditions in real time, providing critical data to firefighters without putting lives at risk. Equipped with thermal imaging cameras, drones can detect hotspots and track the spread of flames, enabling more targeted and effective responses. Artificial intelligence, AI, is another game-changer. AI algorithms can analyze vast amounts of data, from weather patterns to historical fire records, to predict where and when wildfires are most likely to occur. This allows for proactive measures, such as pre-positioning firefighting resources or issuing early evacuation warnings. AI can also optimize firefighting strategies in real time, improving coordination and resource allocation. Satellite monitoring provides a bird's-eye view of fire activity, helping to track large-scale blazes and assess damage. Systems like NASA's Fire Information for Resource Management System, FIRMS, deliver near real-time data to emergency responders, enabling faster and more informed decision-making. Advances in satellite technology, such as higher resolution imaging and more frequent updates, are further enhancing these capabilities. The solutions to the wildfire crisis are not one-size-fits-all. They require a collaborative approach that integrates prevention, policy, and technology. Governments, communities, and private sector partners must work together to implement these strategies, sharing knowledge and resources to maximize their impact. Public support and funding are also critical, as many of these initiatives require significant investment. The path forward is clear. By addressing the root causes of wildfires, building fire-resilient communities, and harnessing the power of innovation, we can reduce the risk of future disasters. The wildfires in Los Angeles are a wake-up call, but they also present an opportunity. to rethink our relationship with the environment and build a safer, more sustainable future. The time to act is now, before this firestorm finishes and the next one strikes. The wildfires are not an isolated phenomenon. They are part of a larger, interconnected pattern of environmental crises unfolding across the globe. From record-breaking heat waves in Europe to catastrophic floods in South Asia, extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and severe, driven by the accelerating impacts of climate change. The fires in Los Angeles are a microcosm of this global challenge, underscoring the urgent need for collective action to address the root causes of these disasters. The wildfires in Los Angeles are a stark reminder of the far-reaching consequences of climate change. Rising global temperatures, fueled by greenhouse gas emissions, have created the perfect conditions for wildfires to thrive. Prolonged droughts, reduced rainfall, and hotter summers have turned California's landscapes into tinderboxes, ready to ignite at the slightest spark. But this is not just a California problem. It is a global one. In Australia, the 2019-2020 bushfire season, known as the Black Summer, burned over 46 million acres, killed or displaced an estimated 3 billion animals, and released massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. In the Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of the earth, wildfires have surged due to deforestation and land use changes, further exacerbating climate change. Even the Arctic, a region once considered immune to wildfires, has experienced unprecedented blazes, with fires in Siberia releasing more carbon in 2020 than in any previous year on record. These events are not coincidental. They are interconnected symptoms of a planet in distress. The wildfires in Los Angeles are a warning sign, a call to action that we cannot afford to ignore. Addressing the wildfire crisis and the broader climate crisis requires unprecedented levels of international collaboration. No single country can tackle these challenges alone. They demand a coordinated, global response. The Paris Agreement, adopted in 2015, was a significant step forward, with nations committing to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius, above pre-industrial levels. However, current pledges fall short of what is needed to achieve this goal. Countries must go beyond their commitments, investing in renewable energy, reforestation, and sustainable land management. Wealthier nations, which have historically contributed the most to greenhouse gas emissions, have a moral obligation to support developing countries in their transition to low-carbon economies. Initiatives like the Green Climate Fund, which finances climate projects in vulnerable regions, are critical to ensuring that no one is left behind. Global cooperation also extends to sharing knowledge and technology. Advances in wildfire prediction, monitoring, and response, such as satellite imaging, AI, and drone technology, should be made accessible to all nations, particularly those with limited resources. By working together, we can build a more resilient world. While systemic change is essential, individual actions also play a crucial role in combating climate change. The choices we make in our daily lives, from the food we eat to the way we travel, have a cumulative impact on our planet. Reducing our carbon footprints by conserving energy, supporting sustainable products, and advocating for climate-friendly policies can drive meaningful change. Communities can also take collective action, from organizing local cleanup efforts to participating in citizen science projects that monitor environmental changes. Education and awareness are key. By understanding the link between our actions and their environmental consequences, we can make more informed decisions and inspire others to do the same. As Los Angeles will rebuild from the ashes of yet another devastating wildfire season, the lessons learned must serve as a catalyst for change, not just locally, but worldwide. The fires are a grim reminder of the fragility of our planet and the urgent need to address the root causes of climate change. But they are also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of community, and the potential for innovation. The path forward is clear. We must unite in our efforts to protect the environment, leveraging technology, policy, and individual action to build a more sustainable future. This is not just a responsibility. It is an opportunity to rethink our relationship with the natural world, to create a legacy of stewardship, and to ensure that future generations inherit a planet that is not only habitable, but thriving. The time to act is now. The wildfires in Los Angeles are a wake-up call, but they are also a rallying cry, a call for unity, innovation, and a renewed commitment to safeguarding our planet. Together, we can rise from the ashes and forge a brighter, more resilient future for all. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.